Hey guys, Brennan here. Just thought I'd talk to you today about the sad state of the real estate market and how effectively you'll never be able to own your own home. So I live in Canada. We have probably one of the most inflated housing markets out there. I know China comes first before us. I think we're maybe listed number 5. And what I do for my day job is I'm an electrician. So I go to a lot of these houses, new construction or even old construction, and the new construction homes, it's quickly becoming the standard to develop side doors to them, so that way it leaves the potential for basement suites to be developed. And so that's a good thing in a sense where it actually can conserve like natural gas, because we plan to hit a global peak production of natural gas sometime in the 2030s. So in a sense it's a good thing because you're heating the same space but using more people to occupy that space. But it's also a bad thing because people are losing that extra space that they have in their home to somebody else. And because of these ridiculously high rent and housing prices, it's actually allowing essentially more renovations to happen, whether it's a good or a bad thing. And I'll give you one personal example for me in the trade, where I would go to houses built in the early 1900s, and these houses are just like terrible. They're filled with asbestos. The electrical it should all be replaced. None of the wiring is safe, but these houses are allowed to stay standing because of the high housing market prices. So yeah, it's a disaster in that sense. And then also, what these high housing prices are doing is it's essentially prioritizing the older generations over the newer generations. So a lot of people my age, millennials, Gen Z, we're delaying the formation of households because the cost of living and housing is just too damn high. Because, for me, for example, I want to have a life where I can build wealth, pay my bills, go to work each and every day fulfilled. But in the state of the economy today, it effectively just seems not possible for my generation. Like, we're quickly heading towards a time where we won't have time for activities because we'll be way too busy working in order to pay the bills. And what really irks me about the housing market right now is, people, they sign up for these mortgages with variable or fixed rates, and then have to renew them every so often, with the principals being extraordinarily high and the interest rates being the lowest that they've been. But because the principals are so high, the interest rates become unmanageable. And the thing is, like, people spend their whole lives trying to pay off these mortgages, in the end, to not ever actually own their own home. And so with any other kind of ownership, really, there's kind of an hierarchy system to determine who has rights towards the piece of property. And so when you sign that mortgage, effectively the bank owns the property unless they bundle it up in, say, a mortgage-backed security. Then that mortgage-backed security gets auctioned off and sold elsewhere to another financial entity, and then they have the rights.
But then it doesn't stop just there. Let's say you do pay off your own home.
What's happening nowadays is physical printed land deeds are starting to become a thing of the past. So when you go to register your name under your home, it goes on an electronic database. And so what I'm quickly learning about everything digital is there is no true ownership with it. So there are stories out there where effectively people, they don't have the physical land deed and just hold it on that electronic database. And somehow when they go to transfer the title in their name to somebody else's, they just can't, because their property, their name, has been swapped off of the records with somebody else's. So, you know, there's a risk with holding a physical land deed, but I think truly there's a bigger risk holding it on a digital system. Because one, it could be, say, hacked, and then ownership rights can be transferred over to somebody else. Or, you know, maybe the system could be wiped. You never know in the future, you know. Cyber attacks happen all the time, each and every day, and they only seem to get worse as time goes on. But then here's the kicker, because let's say you do have your physical deed in hand once your house is paid off. Well, that doesn't mean you're the owner of your house. In fact, the majority of all of, let's say Canada, that's where I am, the real owner of all these properties is the Canadian government. So really, that's why everyone pays property taxes. Because even though you paid off your home, you had the physical deed, they still hold the ownership rights, and that's why you pay property taxes. So it's effectively you paying rent in order to have a equitable interest, wow, what a mouthful, in the property that you're currently residing in, or any other property like you're renting out. So you're effectively renting from the government. It's fucked up. And it kind of aligns with what the World Economic Forum projects. You'll own nothing and be happy by 2030. So, oh, there goes my phone. So yeah, it's just, you can do whatever you possibly can to, you know, run through this rat race that we call life. Try to own your property, but actuality, you don't own it. So with that being said, the government can take full ownership of your house only if they give you what they deem fair market value. So whatever the housing market is at the time that they go to try to claim your property. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it is there. So that's why I suggest to everyone, like, even though these agencies try to become more modern by making everything digital, yes, it's super convenient, but you don't realize, oh, Jesus Christ, what is going on here? You don't realize what you sacrifice for convenience. Okay, what is going on? Sorry, this is my gimbal acting up. But yeah, convenience isn't always good. In fact, a lot of people don't realize what they sacrifice for convenience. So really, if you want to be the second in line for ownership in your house, then yes, having a physical land deed is probably the way to go. But in order for you to actually own your property outright, you would need what's called a allodial land title. And allodial land titles are extremely rare, if they even exist at all. I'm sure they do for some corporations or even owners that have what's referred to as patentable land. But yeah, I think if anything, we need to bring more awareness to this, because people need to not feel like they have ownership, but they need to have ownership. Because if they don't, it opens the door for government tyranny in the future. And yeah, the world is getting scarier and scarier by the day, especially the more I learn about it, because ownership is fleeting. So take ownership when and where you can, because the digital age that we're entering into is terrifying. All right. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who you think would be interested in this topic. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.